I don't think there is a particular line. If there was a line in the sand, you probably would have thought that it came, when we crossed 160, which is where we had the intervention. Obviously, previously back in late April and early May, our sense was that probably, MOF was probably minded to intervention, but they were looking for an opportunity, to kind of push on an open door. So perhaps looking for those inflation numbers on Friday to have generated maybe a bigger rally in US bond markets and a weaker US dollar. And they might have been disposed to lean into that as early as today. But clearly that hasn't happened. So I think the opportunity for successful intervention is pretty limited at the moment. And we do notice that there's been a break in the relationship between US and Japanese bond yields and dollar yen. That relationship would tell you we should be down in the 140s. So there are clearly other things going on. We hear reports of strong Japanese household purchases of US equities, for example, under the tax-efficient savings plans that they have. That may be driving a little bit of a wedge there. So we do think the Bank of Japan is going to raise rates at the end of the month. We do think they will firm up their plans for reduced JGB buying. But in isolation, I'm not sure that is going to be a sufficient condition to bring about a meaningful reversal in the dollar-yen trend.
Hold on, Ray. They're going to firm up plans to taper JGB buying. So they're actually not going to pull the trigger because, as I understand it, I think the first available opportunity for them to actually do taper is probably coming up on, is it the 28th of July? Because we've been hearing reports that, things are so bad with the yen right now, they could be forced to do both. That is actually raise rates as well as trim bond buying.
No, that is our expectation, but what they said obviously out of the June meeting is that we aren't going to formally decide on the form and the magnitude of scaled back JGB buying until we meet in July. So if we see any reductions, I would imagine they'll still be within the current thresholds that the Bank of Japan has set for itself. But any formal reduction, I think only occurred in August, having been announced out of the July meeting.